Welcome to the Photo Report, where we talk to other photographers about how they run their business, how they balance their lives, and how they stay inspired. I'm Braden Flynn, your host, and had the chance to be out at Field Trip, which is an amazing conference where you're challenged, you're inspired, you get to hang out with amazing people, and it's just a blast. I spoke out there, but then also had the chance to just talk with a couple other photographers that are friends of mine, and hope you love what they had to say. This interview is with Tyler Branch.
Beers in the mix.
Cool.
Well, hey, this is Tyler Branch. He's an amazing photographer. Would you maybe just, if someone asks you, like, how do you describe your work? Or if someone is saying, I guess, how would you describe your work?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to put a label on a style or like what you're doing as an artist, but I think in general what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to provide something for people that's authentic, that's real. That's kind of like the awesomeness of shooting weddings is you are working with real people. Like, you're not working with actors, you're not working with models, you're working with people who really have no idea as to what they're doing. And there's a lot of emotion that stems from that and a lot of heart. And so I guess when clients are asking me, when people are asking me, like, you know, how do you classify or define your style? That's, I guess, kind of how I word it.
Yeah.
In that way.
That's good.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's something, like, at what point, you obviously start shooting at a certain point, and you're excited and like, yay, I'm a photographer. And then at a certain point, you are running a business.
Right.
At what stage did you feel like, okay, this is what I do? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or is it something that you like looked back on and realized, or is it something that you decided and then you sort of aimed for that?
No, I never ever meant to make money doing this, which is cool because it stemmed from a place of just love. Like, I love taking photos. I love, you know, the idea of capturing a moment as you know, contrived as that has come to be. But no, I started out just kind of shooting, like I said, out of the joy of it and out of kind of just a spontaneous spirit. And then people were like, hey, I want to pay you to do this.
Right.
I was like, wow, this is new and this is rad. I don't, you know, have to go back to work. So you know, when it started becoming something that I knew would become a job was when really I was looking at my my money, my bank account was like, oh, I'm making more doing this, the thing that I love to do, and more than the thing I hate doing. So just kind of leaped and went for it and took a huge risk and never looked back. So
what was it that you were doing?
I was actually working at In-N-Out, of all places. I was working fast food, so I was like, pretty much at that point, it was you know, it was something I really felt like, you know, my life at that point was kind of at a place where all my dreams and aspirations had kind of hit rock bottom. I was working there, and it was sort of just like, what do I do from here? And a lot of doors opened up for me to start shooting, and I think, you know, looking back now, it was like, it's hard to chalk that up to fate or anything else, but there was a lot of things that kind of went in my direction that led me to where I am today. So I'm pretty grateful for that.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's so cool. So when you teach workshops, yeah?
Yes.
What do you generally focus on when you're teaching workshops?
I mean, honestly, I'm a pretty thorough person and pretty, like, I'm kind of a perfectionist by nature too. So I'm trying to provide people with maybe every tool they can have to run a successful business, and also be free in their art, and to be able to do what they want to do with their clients and not feel constricted in that way. So I mean, I've done 2 workshops, you know, I've done a couple talks here, but I'm in general just kind of trying to provide people with a way of seeing the art of what we do, a different way. It doesn't have to be my way. I think, you know, the workshops in general are a lot of like, hey, imitate what I'm doing, copy what I'm doing, here's my post-processing, here's sort of the way I pose or whatever. Right. And while I go through some of that stuff, I'm also really, really trying to push home the idea that you are who you are, and there's such a beauty in being unique as an artist and being yourself and staying true to who you really are. And so yeah, I guess it's kind of like
no, that's cool.
General message.
What is the biggest challenge that you're sort of dealing with photography?
The biggest challenge? Whew.
What's hard in your business or life balance?
Yeah. Dude, you just nailed it. Yeah, the balance. I mean, really, like right now, I've got a 4-month-old and a 2-year-old, which, I mean, life can be a little crazier. All the single married people are like, it's a lot easier. That's all. I mean, it's like you're on vacation all the time.
Right.
There's not a lot of responsibilities. There's nowhere you have to be. There's life's a little bit simpler. A lot simpler. So for me right now, it's a matter of trying to juggle the two, run a successful business and provide for my family, and also enjoy what I'm doing. Not be too bogged down with too much work. And also spend the majority of my time with my family, which, like I said, I'm learning it. I can't really say I speak on it, but.
So are you intentional with that in the sense of setting boundaries, and what are those, if so or if not?
Yeah, I think, I mean, for me, one practical step I did in doing this, like, I just got an office. Working with the process guys in Long Beach, like, I was like, I need this so I can work.
Are you in there? You're in their space? Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's rad. Real Austin and Daniel and Tom and those guys. So I that's kind of the boundary that I set there. Was like, you know what? I'm going to have an office, and when I'm working, and then when I'm home, in my best attempt, put away my phone. There's no computer, so I really don't even have to think about it. And when I'm home, I'm home. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I had to do that as well when we had our first kid.
It's crazy.
Because separating those two is really tough. I've had so many conversations with people but that struggle of like, we're at this stage of really trying to build our business. And it takes so much time, and you have these like goals and visions and dreams, like do all this stuff, but then it takes time to be like present, and and it's really easy to not be present.
Right.
It has to be something that's intentional, and it's something that I struggle with because my mind is going 1,000,000 miles an hour, and then you have to like completely shift gears, and you have to force yourself to get home. It's hard.
Yeah, and I mean that's both the blessing and the curse of owning your own business there. People, a lot of my friends who are employed by other people, 9-to-5s, are, this must be so nice. You can really kind of do whatever you want, which is true, but there's such an overwhelming sense you can get oftentimes with owning your business, where it's like, dude, this is never ending. Someone asked me recently, like, when was the last time you didn't work? I was like, I couldn't even think of it today, which is sad. That's like, dude, but I complain, and that's really not a complaint. It's like, I'm so.
But you enjoy it.
I love it. Yeah, it's so great.
Yeah, that is hard. I had 3, probably more years where I didn't take a day off, and I wasn't doing anything for myself either. Which is the like, then you hit sort of rock bottom, and you're like,
work outside of.
I wasn't doing anything for myself. I wasn't getting exercise. I wasn't surfing. I wasn't, so it's like literally like working so much, and then barely having time for your family. And it's like at that stage, you're like, for what?
Totally. That's the question you're asking yourself.
Totally.
What am I doing?
Yeah, because now it's like I tell people, it's like, listen, my boss is an ass. Which is me. It's like you're running your own company, so basically I say Braden Photography hires the crap out of me and then underpays me. It's like I work so much, and then I'm come back, and it's like the E-Myth situation where it's working on your business versus working in your business, where so often we're so stuck working in our business that we're not able to actually like do life.
Right. Yeah. And isn't that the point? I think a lot of people, I mean, even outside of our industry and our world, our little subculture here is like they treat their job as the end instead of a means to an end. And that for me has been kind of my primary focus since having kids, is like, as much as I love this as an art, it is my business too, and this is a means to an end. And the end is, for my family and providing for them, and giving them a life that they otherwise maybe couldn't have, but then knowing when that ends, when it's enough, when I've booked enough weddings, or I've done enough things where it's like, okay, that needs to end because we have enough.
Right?
We have enough.
Versus constantly feeling like you're not there, or you need more. And when it's like, well, actually, we're doing okay right now.
We're doing totally good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Amazing. What's something that that you're excited about, either right now or something that you're like challenging yourself to be doing more of?
Oh man. Just being here at Field Trip, I'm really, there's two actually. There's one which is I'm really wanting to be more hands-on and personal with my clients.
Yeah.
Really, really getting to know them, Kristen Marie did a talk. If she happens to watch this, she's gonna like, you're such a weirdo. But she did a talk, and it was just mind-bending. Like, it was so unreal, her perspective and the way she approaches her clientele, and it's like almost therapeutic. And I know that kind of sounds like sort of like weird and like off-color or whatever, but like, it's so good. It was so good. So I walked away from that talk thinking like, okay, I'm gonna be more like personal with my clientele and try to like really interact with them. And I don't know, it's hard to wrap up an hour and a half in kind of a quick couple statements. But so there's that, and then you know, beyond that is once I kind of get out of this busy season, I have a couple months here coming up where it's pretty slow, which is great. I'm gonna start doing just some personal projects. One of those being, when I first started shooting, I was shooting a lot of homeless people as a personal thing. Like,
Neat.
And they were very like dark and kind of moody and edgy images, and I kind of want to go back to that because I feel like I was so in love with those photos. Looking back now, I'm like, I need to do that to sort of spark my, you know, my creativity again, because you know, you're shooting the same thing over and over and over as wedding photographers. There tends to be, you know, you start to notice your work, it's like the same thing you're kind of putting out over and over and over in terms of the exposure and the posing and that kind of deal. So I'm hoping to kind of do something in another direction that'll hopefully spark something new in my wedding business, my wedding images.
Yeah, man, it's key. You've got to do that personal work to just sort of feed the mind, so you're not just stuck doing what you've always done.
Totally, yeah. Fall into that like creative rut where I think everyone's been there. You're just kind of like shooting the same thing. Like, you know, you shoot a doubleheader, next week doubleheader. You're like, dude, like I'm pretty much just like pumping these things in and out. Like it's just like a factory almost. And I mean, it's difficult to not do that at the end of a season. I think everyone's probably guilty of that in one way or another. But for me, like what I'm wanting to do is hopefully provide people with like unique, you know, product every time. So it's hard. It's a pretty big challenge. Yeah, it's a huge challenge. But I just trying to stick to it, I guess.
Neat, man. Well, where can people see more of your work? And if you don't already know Tyler Branch, but what's your site? And
just Tyler Branch Photo. You can just Google that or put it into your.
It's just at Tyler Branch on Instagram.
Yeah, or Instagram. Yeah, Instagram's Tyler Branch. I do a lot of writing about my son, which actually the Finn series is coming to an end. He turns 2 in a couple weeks, but if you're interested in dads writing about their sons, I covered my boy's life from 1 to 2, and I wrote about him. I wrote about how, you know, he's changing my heart and he's changing my life, and how he's impacting, you know, not only me but my wife, who's now a mom, and you know, there's imagery that goes along with that, but it's more the words that I think have impacted some other people, so that's a good deal.
Cool, man. Cool. Well, hey, good to chat. Thanks for taking the time. Make sure you check out his work if you haven't seen it. And let's keep having fun.
Thanks.
All right. You got it.